All right. All right, YouTube. So we up tonight. Get ready to put my Facebook up and see. Let's see what we have going on tonight. I appreciate you guys. Get it set up. Alrighty. Hear anything in the background snoring? That's my dog. She is Facebook tonight. Can you see it? Facebook tonight. I want to talk to you about blended families. Forgive the typo, and you can probably see through some other stuff that I wrote yesterday. That was my stuff from yesterday. But this is it. Tonight I want to talk to you about blended families. Stepmama, stepdaddy, stepchildren, blended families. Get it? Blended families. I want to talk to you about it. Let me check my volume, check how everything is. But the reason why I posted the question on my page recently about could you marry somebody with who have children already? Could you marry someone who have children already? And resoundingly, everybody seemed to say they could. It was some people who were upfront and said they couldn't, but the bulk of everybody said they could. Like I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with being in a blended family. So that's what the topic will be tonight. Is the blended family. All right, let me kill my sound. So look, let me talk to you right now. We're in a space now where it seems like everybody is a baby mama, everybody is a baby daddy, everybody has previous relationships, right? That's the space we in. I want to ask you, and everybody said on the post, oh yeah, I could definitely be married to somebody who has children and I can have a blended family. And that's a great idea. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been part of it. I know all about that. But let's give some scenarios, okay? Because it sounds good, but can you deal with some of the things that come along with it? Especially as my topic say, you don't have any children. Now, for us who already have children, it's okay and it's easier to take on children when we already have children. But if you don't have any children and you talk about you meet James and James good people, he fine, but he got 3 kids that he got full custody of that's gonna live with you. So a lot of times, as a woman or as a man, if the kids don't have to stay and they just come over the weekend, that's fine. All right, yeah, babe, we be together. You know what I mean? I see little John, little Jocelyn, and little Jacob on the weekend, every other weekend when you and your spouse work it out. But let's say them jokers got to be there every single day. Now you have your freedom, but you like James or you like Janice. Can you do that? You understand? And then there's things that come about in the midst of the actual families that come about that a lot of people don't really speak about. Because, when you get that, you ain't my mama. What happened when little Jocelyn look at you and you trying to tell her, Jocelyn, you got to clean your room up now, Jocelyn. You ain't none of my mama. What happens then? Or you ain't none of my daddy. What happens then? So I think these are questions you really need to think about. If you already have kids, a lot of times it's easier, but sometimes, man, it's easier to put up with stuff when they're your children, and it's harder when they not. You know what I mean? Like, for real. But that's a question that everybody was like, yeah, man, I could do it, Larry, Man, that's, of course, most certainly. And I can tell you, that will make a lie out of you. A blended family will make a lie out of you. It has to be a lot of different things in place. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Number one, the spouse that has the children, let's say it's your wife or it's your husband. The spouse that has the children, they have to really be like, they're in the middle. You understand? Because it's stuff that's going on. You done invited. So you, Carolyn, you like James. You hooked up with James. James good people. He make you laugh. He funny and everything. But he got these 3 kids, John, Jocelyn, and Jacob, right? Now, James in the middle. But James gonna have to actually be the bridge, because you like, do I discipline these kids? What am I supposed to do? Do I straighten these kids? Am I supposed to what am I supposed to do? People always say, we talk that talk. People got that great talk, right? But little John doing some stuff, and it's like, okay, what, James, what, you see what I'm saying? So it gets to be stressful at times when it's kids. Now I'm gonna add another scenario. It's kids, but their parent is still actively involved with them, their other parent. So let's say James, he got custody of them, but Cassandra, that's still their mom, and she in the middle of it. Are you prepared to deal with John, Jacob, and Jocelyn, and their mama Cassandra? Then you got a different set of grandparents, you got a different set of cousins, a different set of aunties. This is the kind of stuff you really, 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 really have to be prepared to go into when you're talking about dealing with a blended family. Now, I can say this because I'm a part of a blended family, and it's a beautiful thing. We went through some hard times. Like, it's been some tough stuff. It's been some fights. It's been some arguments. It's been some, you ain't none of my daddy. Like, straight up. Like, for real. And we at a good place now. But it's been a lot of fights. And I ain't gonna act like it's been all peaches and roses. People be flexing, man. Oh, no, babe. Look, we have went through some stuff. It's been some hard stuff we done went through dealing with children. And blended families can be challenging. They really can. They really can. So, I don't know. If somebody was to ask me, I love my wife, so I'm good. And I'm on the other side of it. So it's like, I'm all in. But if you starting from scratch, you don't have not one child. You have your freedom. And you meet, let's say you're a guy, and you see this lady, and it's like, oh my Lord. And she is, she funny, she make you laugh, she's personable, but then she come up front like, look, I got 3 children, At that point, you got to really ask yourself, because a lot of times people be just trying to get like sexual fulfillment. Sometimes people are lonely. Sometimes people like, at that point, you really need to ask yourself like, okay, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't want to do. James, he nice. James work out, bro, look good, 6-pack, man, abs. He good looking brother. But he got John, Jacob, and Jocelyn at the house. You understand? And it could get real. So, but let's not talk about the negatives. I want to also talk about the beautiful part of it. A lot of times, and I'm going to speak to you sincerely, as when kids are abandoned by a parent, when it's somebody that abandoned them and, they pretty much just don't want anything to do with them, and the kids won't, because kids don't know they mama not hitting on nothing. They don't know they daddy not hitting on nothing. A lot of times adults have to tell kids that, and they still don't believe it. Like, this person is like God to them. This is like Santa Claus, you know what I mean? So when a child has a missing piece of their life, that is also a beautiful thing, to be able to give them something, or give them somebody that they can call dad, or can call mom, or can call, can be that person they can get that fatherly advice from. They are that person that when times go rough, they can lean on you. That's also a beautiful thing right there. That really is, because that's by choice. With your kids, you don't have no choice. You gotta be dad to your kids or mom to your kids. Like, you don't have no choice. And then your kids may be like messed up. You know what I mean? Like, oh Lord, my son messed up. But that's your son, and you have to deal with your son, and whatever his issues are, you gotta walk him through it. But you don't have no choice in that matter. You don't. But when they talk about blended families and stepchildren, where did that name come from? Where did that name come from? Like, think about it. Let me get this right here. But where did the name of step come from? Who came up with that? That's some cruel stuff right there. Step. Yeah, that's the stepdaughter. What that mean? When you step on it and get to the other child. That's cruel. Human beings are cruel. I'm telling you, we got to come up with a different title than that my stepdaddy, or that's my stepmama, or that, you know what I mean? Like, that's cruel, man. We gotta stop saying that, because even if you say that to a child, like, they're my stepson, like, you know what I mean? Like, how that make you feel? Like, they're my stepdaddy. How did that make you feel as a father? You know what I mean? So I don't know. They call me Pop. They call me Pop. Mia call me Dad. So that's cool. But that's kind of weird. But anyway, so you give them an actual somebody they can lean on. And I'm telling you, one of my friends in here, Vincent, he said he adopted his actual stepdaughter. He adopted her and made her like his daughter. Like a piece of paper made her his daughter. He raised her. You get what I'm saying? So he said he adopted her, and now she's 21 now. That's his child. Cause I'm gonna tell you something about a child. Whoever loves a child, that's who that child belongs to. But to be able to give that child that, right? Somebody they can talk to. Somebody when they going through tough times. Somebody when, because mom got to try to be everything. Or dad got to try to do whoever that one parent is. But you able to step in by choice and from love and be able to do it and give them guidance. But it won't be necessarily, it don't, beautiful. I've heard some great stories. Like I really have. I've heard some stories. Well, put it like this. People tell you stuff. But, and I think it's all about how that custodial parent manages it, right? It's the parents who have the custodian manage it. If they manage it appropriately, it could be beautiful. But if they allowing little things to go on, old Cassandra, she all in the middle. James allowing, Jocelyn coming back, she got an attitude with you, and you like, hold on now, Jocelyn. Now I've been there for you, because you know what I mean. So, man, think about that. A lot of us are already married, so this is don't even for you. Some of you guys are young and getting married. My son said, I'll never do it again. He got married to somebody, he had some kids, and he said it was pretty hell. He said, I'll never do that again. You know what I mean? And, that's his right. When I pose questions, I want everybody to understand it. Man, that's everybody's right. Like, whatever somebody say, that's their right, regardless if you agree with it or not, So he said, I'll never do that again, But, hey, you never know. I know a lot of people who said they wouldn't do a whole lot of stuff, and they do it. They meet the right one. You meet the right one, you'll be surprised what you'll do. So that's my spiel for tonight. Would you or could you marry someone that already had kids? Now, you don't have any. You get what I'm saying? I think a lot of times that's the big thing. You don't have any kids, and you're willing to be dad or mom, and a lot of times the custodial parent ain't asking you to be that no way. You see what I'm saying? Like when you deal with a lot of women or you deal with a lot of men and they got their own kid, they not asking you to be mom to them. They not saying make sure my camera focus. I need you to be mom to Jocelyn. No, you babe. Now if it goes anything further than this, then maybe we can But no, we fine. All right. So blended families. We're in a societal time now where that's more of the norm than not. You hear more about blended families almost now than you don't regular. Like, is that regular anymore? You know what I mean? The biblical families, the families that are, mom, dad met each other back in high school and they courted and they kissed behind the barn and held hands at the fair. And then on a nice, beautiful spring morning under the oak tree, pastor came out and wed them. They consummated their marriage. Then they brought little John boy in the world, and dad went on to work for the oil refinery, and mama, she was you don't hear about that anymore, right? You don't hear about that anymore. That's not, you don't. I mean, and I know it's real prevalent, but even in country towns, you don't hear about it no more because people are having sex earlier, right? Kids are having sex earlier. You get guys and girls having kids at 18, 19, 16, 17, 15. You hear about some, you know what I mean? My mom had me when she was 15. Straight up. My mom had me when she was 15, had my sister when she was 14. So, I mean, that's just been a reality to me ever since I've been a kid. Some young girl having kids, you know what I mean? But, yeah, man. When you think about that, this is for all my single brothers, single sisters, and not even single people. Let me tell you something about people, about not even single people. And I want to say this. I really do, man. I want to say this, and I'm going to let you go tonight. Folks who think they got their stuff together need to stop trying to judge other people. You get that really bothers me because you got this life that, you did a good job. But don't tell somebody else who may have taken a different route to get to the same destination or look down your nose at them like they are just pariahs or something. They're not pariahs. It took a certain route for them to get to. Their family makeup may not look like yours, but it may be more love in that family. And I always remember this, and I always tell everybody this. The story is still being written. So just because you may be in a situation right now and it may be ideal and you may feel like you did everything right, and you may look across the street at Janice and Paul and they stuff look like it's fragile, understand both stories are still being written, your story included. All right, so that story that may look like it's fragile and nothing eventually may turn out to be a home run. It may turn out to be a happily ever after while you still be blah blah. So be careful about looking down your nose at people in their situation because it don't match up to what your ideal of success should be, right? So be careful of that. Don't look down your nose at folks because they may not believe the way you believe. Their home structure may not be, their marriage may not be. So what? Work on your stuff. All right, work on your stuff. There was only one Jesus, right? He came to save the world and he left. That ain't your job to do it no more. It ain't your job to walk around here. No, that ain't your job. Understand that. So I have to always make sure I mention that to my friends and followers because sometimes we get on our high horse. We get on our high horse because we think we got it together and we really don't, you know, and life will humble us. So that's my encouragement for every last one of you guys. Some of you guys are in an ideal situation to make great blog, and some of you guys are in blended families. Some of you guys are in two single people who don't have kids and don't want kids, or two single people that don't have kids that's working on kids. Some of you guys are mom, father, 2.5 kids. You know, it don't matter. What happens in the long run is what matters, right? The fight, you know, you may win the battle, but do you win the war type deal? All right. So that, I just wanted to put that in there, you know, and I'm not saying anybody watching this now or even watching it then is going to do that, but I just want to pass that on. If you have a problem with that habit of seeing, you know, Shaquilla might have had 5 kids out of wedlock, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, by the world standard, Shaquilla is a loser, but no, Shaquilla is not, because she brought 5 kids into this world, and let's see how the story play out. Because it's a whole lot of more years to go. And that story may turn out to be a beautiful story. And it's a story that everybody like, wow. And everybody is amazed by what come from 5 kids out of wedlock. You get what I'm saying? So it may not look like what you would like for it to look like. And it may don't fit your reality and your scenario. But that does not mean it's a failure. And it's not going to be any victory that's gained from it. Hey, man. It's Larry, man. I'm gone. I just want to spill that to you tonight. Blended families, family. I'll talk to you guys next time. I appreciate all the love. Listen, I will not be posting a lot of questions on my personal page for personal and privacy reasons. I had a few people get in touch with me in my inbox and answer some of the questions in the inbox because it was a few, they didn't want their stuff, because my page public. So they just didn't want their stuff all out there, right? And then I had a few instances with people with some different kind of stuff. I don't care, but I want to respect all you guys. So if you want to join the group, listen, it's LarryBJr.com question. The name of the group is Question, not Questions, Question, because I always ask a question with Larry Brown Jr. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in the link of this video. Join the group so we can talk, we can have these discussions. I almost gonna pose questions every day, but I want you guys to pose questions too and offer insight and questions on there too. But yeah, I had to close that down because it was a couple of questions that I asked that people did want to answer them, but they just didn't want to answer them in no public, like where their coworker can look on or something like that. You know, you got family members that you could click on. So being that it's in a group, it's a little bit more moderated and it's a little bit more, you know, I had somebody today tell me, you know, they is certain people, you know, because my page open, so I'm friends with a lot of people. So, you know, it may be your coworker and then you talking about something you just don't want your coworker to hear about. You get what I'm saying? Or it may be your dad in there. You don't want your dad to know you out there like that. Whatever, man. Look, man, I'm gone. I appreciate you guys for watching me tonight. You guys rock. Y'all are awesome. I'm telling you, I appreciate it. I'm going for the night, man. It's Larry. Peace. All right, YouTube.